The Confederation of British Industry is calling for a no-deal Brexit to be ruled out immediately. The call comes after a string of high-profile companies made announcements that have sent shockwaves through the Brexit debate. Vacuum cleaning empire Dyson said that it'll be moving its headquarters to Singapore. Founder James Dyson has been one of the Leave campaign's highest-profile supporters. P&O Ferries have also announced that its entire fleet of cross-channel ferries will be re-registered under the Cypriot flag. It's been a British operator for more than 180 years. And boss of struggling carmaker Bentley has described Brexit as a killer that was putting in danger its hopes of returning to profit. Well, in response to those announcements, the CBI has called on Prime Minister Theresa May to rule out a no-deal Brexit immediately to stop what it says would be irreversible damage and to restore business confidence. Let's get the latest from Westminster with Vincent McAviney, who's there for us this morning. Good morning to you, Vincent. So, lots of announcement on the business front. How are those going to affect the politics of Brexit?
Good morning, Belle. As you mentioned there, some worrying signs from the British economy about the real risk they have now from no-deal Brexit, the worries that politicians are heading towards that if they can't get past this Brexit gridlock in Parliament itself. And James Dyson yesterday, as you mentioned, announcing that he would be relocating the HQ of the company to Singapore. They've expanded in recent years from being a vacuum company to into hair dryers and sort of domestic fan appliances, and now they're going after the electronic car market. So they are trying to say this isn't about Brexit, it isn't about tax, although they will be paying a slightly smaller corporate tax rate. This is more about being close to their manufacturing base and the emerging markets in that part of the world. Now, when it comes to P&O, of course, they are changing, as you mentioned, those 6 ships, the registration to Cyprus in order to stay within the EU tax regime. I think more people will just be worried about those ships keeping afloat and keeping going on that channel route, which we know is in jeopardy as well if there is a no-deal scenario. And Bentley, the luxury car maker, was about to return to profit, but a bit of a dire warning from its boss there. And the UK's car manufacturing business has been a bit of a success story in the past few decades. About 15 years ago in the early 2000s, with the collapse of Rover, it really wasn't looking good for manufacturing here in the UK. The economy is so heavily service-based, but they have managed to turn that around with luxury brands in particular. BMW making things like Mini here, the Jaguar Land Rover being more produced in the UK, and Bentley as well. But that'll be another worrying thing for the Prime Minister to have to deal with, as businesses repeatedly say that she needs to do something to try and help protect them.
And she's also going to have to deal with this prospect of another vote in the House of Commons next week. What progress, if any, has she made in terms of trying to bring more people on board?
Well, at the moment, it's unclear what progress has been made in this regard. She had a cabinet meeting yesterday where apparently there was rows about the fact that some of the Remainer ministers, like David Gauke and Amber Rudd, were saying that they had to have a free vote next week because they think the Prime Minister will lose on her withdrawal agreement. They'll be backing that. But then if they do lose that, there needs to be a free vote on the Yvette Cooper plan, which would see the UK having an extension request put in for Article 50. That's caused a huge split here. The Prime Minister will see later on today how much support she's commanding in the House of Commons at PMQs. There are some on the Brexiteer side who say they are now wavering. They think that if the DUP finally signs up to the Prime Minister's withdrawal agreement, they might do so if there is an extension on that backstop arrangement, a time limit on that backstop arrangement. But we'll see kind of how MPs react to her later on in the House of Commons.